They turned the dining room upstairs into a bedroom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I ran an appointment a couple weekends ago. Man, it was a dream, man. This guy was from Grosse Pointe. The house was in right on the border of East English Village, like 1 block away from East English Village in Morningside. It was a 2-family brick, huge. And the one unit was rented upstairs. The bottom unit, he did not rent, okay? But in the basement, the upper unit, you go down to the basement from the upper unit, and there was 2 bedrooms with a full bath, and each bedroom had egress windows. So it was a true 5-bedroom upper and a 3-bedroom lower. And he wanted $60,000 for it. I said, great. I mean, I didn't say it so fast. I was really excited, but I said, look, I'm interested at 60. You know, I think that's fair and blah, 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 right? I said, or I'll pay you 70 and I'll give you 20 grand down, or I'll give you 10 grand down, and then I'll pay you the first year up front of 10 grand, right? So I was gonna pay every year up front, 10 grand up front, or whatever that number is, whatever. I divided it with 60 grand. It wasn't, I don't think, it might've been 10 grand. I was gonna pay, yeah, I was gonna pay 10 grand a year for 6 years, give him 10 grand down, then 10 grand, and the next 5 more payments of 10 grand. So 70 grand. And he liked that idea also. He really didn't need the money. But this is what killed me. The tenant was 20 grand behind in rent, which I didn't care. I should, now that I think about it, I'm gonna call him tomorrow. I just might offer him that 20 grand. This is that good of a deal. And he's getting the money from the state or some program that they're gonna pay him. I said, well, how about if I just rent it from you? I'll give you 10 grand down and I'll rent it, lease option it, you know, until you get your 20 grand. And then once you get your 20 grand, I'll pay it off. He said, let me think about it. And, you know, that's the, you know, those lines are like death, right? And he said, call me back in 2 weeks. I said, what if I call you back in a few days, you know? So I called him back, been talking to him. Now he says, I think the property's worth way more money. I don't know, maybe I got too excited and I fucked it up. I don't think so, but it could have been. And but I was gonna keep that one for myself. Rent the rooms out, you know, 2 people to a room, or do something, you know. That was gonna be a killer deal. I mean, the house was, it needs nothing. The guy been fixing it. He fixes it himself every day, you know, for 30 years. But I'll stay on top of it.
Yeah, that sounds like a good deal.
Yeah. I'm picking up I had a bunch of rentals in the past and got rid of them all. And I'm starting to collect them again. I'm picking up one, my first rental. I'm going to get it on a land contract from someone I know, 5 grand down. And then I'm going to pay him 5,000 a year, you know, so I'm going to pay 20 grand for it. No interest. Nice 3-bedroom brick and a good block. I'm going to rent it for 900. It probably needs, I'm going to get it city certified. I'm not going to mess around with it like I used to. I used to never get them city certified. Never got in trouble, but you know, I'm going to make it nice, you know, nice and clean, get it city certified, rent it for maybe I'll rent it for 1,000 and, you know, just keep it forever.
I'm kind of digging your year upfront payments.
And the reason I do that is psychologically, especially if you're taking over if you're doing a seller financing type deal, because the first thing what are they thinking? what if you don't make that payment? What do I do?
Right.
So you say, look, I'm going to pay the year up front. So you never have to worry about when you're collecting that payment, when you're not collecting that payment. And then before that year's up, I'm going to give you another year's up front, you know, or you could even just say, I'm going to start paying you monthly. You know, I'm going to pay a year's up front and I'll pay you every month.
Right on.
And you just pay it off sooner. And they're always going to be ahead of the game. They never have to worry about you not making the payment. And
Probably like work that so that it's almost like, I mean, is it your down payment or is it the full year up front? You know what I mean? You can play
you're
it
going to
out
give someone 10 grand, say, look, I'll give you 5 grand down and then I'll pay the 5,000 up front the first year. It's the same
Yeah.
thing, right?
Yeah, I'm doing you a favor.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. So
Man, I
you
lost.
guys heard of the Pace Morby, right?
Yeah.
And if you haven't, you gotta check them out. Pace Morby, Brent Daniels, Jamil. Anyway, Pace has a course. I know a couple people that have it. I got it, and I'm studying it. You know, at least an hour a day.
Did you you got into the mentorship?
I got the course.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'm a big fan, man. Sucker's got some moves. It's kind of crazy.
Yep. They're the kings over there for sure.
I love the whole subject too. I mean, shit, they're picking up 5 a week.
Yeah. Yeah, it's different here. But the foreclosures are going to start coming. So that's why I'm studying it. I know how to do subject twos. I probably don't do them the 100% the way you should do them. So I'm going to do it the right way. I do it my way and it works, but I want to be, make sure it's right. I don't want anything to be called due and things like that. So there's a way of doing it. And so the foreclosure auction started up again in Oakland, and Genesee County's been going on for a few weeks. And I heard Wayne County starting July 22nd, I believe, next month. And Macomb County still, it's week by week. We don't know. They're telling us to call next week. So I went to Genesee today, and they didn't have any houses, but I had to go there anyway. That's the only reason I was there. I get a list from them. There's a way to get a list the day beforehand, so you know what's going. This Port Huron has a auction, don't they?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Find out. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just been easing in, you know what I mean? I figured I'd get there eventually, but I only got so much bandwidth up here that I can pack full of strategies and shit.
Yeah.
What's the game, Master Yoda?
What's that?
I said, what's the game, Master Yoda?
For the auctions is you get the deed from the owner and you control the house. That's that. That's
cash for keys type stuff.
Buy the redemption rights.
Yeah, pre-foreclosure, you just get a deed, but if it goes into foreclosure, you get a redemption deed. Same thing, it just says redemption on it somewhere. And check title, do all that good stuff. Check tax.
There's the big hitters up here kill the auctions, but they're oblivious to all this game that I'm running around here. Nobody knows.
The auction people, they buy them at the auction. They wait 6 months. By then, you got control of it. You own the deed. You could pay them off in 6 months. You could sell the house. You could fix and flip it. There's a lot of things you could do.
So you can slide in there even after somebody else bid on it?
That's why you never buy at the auction.
Yeah. Yeah, they get their money back and they hate you for it.
All right.
They
Yeah,
make
you can.
interest, you know, they give you a hard time, but
Yep. If it's gone to sale, they got the seller or the owner has 6 months to redeem the property. Sometimes 12 months if it's like I'm not sure what the requirement is or whatever, but most of the time it's 6 months. So
yeah,
you can actually go to the seller or the owner or whatever and buy their right to redeem the property.
Mm.
And then so you could go in there and buy their redemption rights for, $1,000 or whatever. And then go in and flip the property and then sell it and cash out the guy that bought it at auction.
yeah,
All before, so you're just in it for the redemption, whatever you got to pay the seller to get their redemption rights and have them get out of there and then rehab it and sell it.
yeah. I've done that quite a few times. I lost one in Allen Park, actually. Got the redemption rights, and 6 months went on. My rehab took longer. We put a lot of money into it, throw it on the market, and it didn't sell because it did not have a basement. It was on a crawl space. It was a beautiful corner lot, brick in Allen Park. It was cool looking, beautiful lot, but it didn't have a basement, So we were asking, so I could have went and redeemed it, and then I just cut my losses. We lost what we put into the house. We didn't pay. We only paid like a couple grand for the deed.
Mm.
And then we probably put 15 grand into the house, 20 grand into the house, and we just walked away.
So then you try to get it sold and then pay the redemption dude off after it's sold like that.
You pay them at closing, yeah, but you got to do it within 6 months. And
Mm.
what really jacked us around is the seller had to stay there for 2 months. They got to get out fast so you could get moving on it. They were there 2 months, and then we were doing so many flips at a time, so we were running behind and we weren't paying attention. And all of a sudden, they say, "Oh shit, the redemption's coming up on this." So
Yeah, you got to be careful too, because if you the person that bought it at auction, they could try to accelerate that redemption period by stating that the property is like been abandoned or not occupied or whatever. So there's different tricks of the trade to stop that from happening.
They say it's abandoned, so that's the only way you could do it. If it's not occupied, you can't accelerate that. But they say abandoned. So anytime I buy it at the auction, or I mean not at the auction, excuse me, from the person, someone bought it at the auction, I file a claim of interest, and I send them a notice. I fax it to them, I deliver it, and I overnight it to them, and I make sure they got it, and they have to sign for it. And I might even have my attorney do it in some cases, so they are notified if they want to do any inspections, if they need to come through the house, they got to contact me, and that we are going to redeem the property, so yeah, you gotta do that, because like you said, there's some investors out there, they'll just try to if they take you to court and they don't notify you, they'll win automatically, and it's their house. The redemption is, so you got to watch it all. Yep.
That's some gangster shit.
And you could buy the redemption properties. Like, let's say it goes to auction, nobody buys it at the auction. Sometimes it'll get listed on a foreclosure site like auction.com or Zome, and the same thing applies. It's a 6 month. You're just buying the redemption. You're not buying the property until the redemption period's up. And I've done that on auction.com. I went to the auction. I was in the house. It went to auction for 60 grand, which is too much. And I ended up buying it on auction.com for like 29,000. So I got it cheaper. And if I would have got redeemed, they would have had to pay the 60 grand, and I would have made 60 grand. I would have got my 29 back, plus I would have made the difference, because, you know, I own that paper at 60 grand is what I bought at the auction. I don't know if that makes sense, but, you know. But that's why I always try to get in every house, even if it went to auction for $100,000 and it's worth 100. If I could reach the person, I'll get in the house. And as a real estate agent, which I hate doing, I could do a short sale for them. I could list it for them and sell it. I could say, look, let me bring the money, I'll fix it up, and we'll be partners on the deal. So there's a lot of different tricks or the trade you could do to, you know, figure it out. Or I seen the inside of the house and it goes on auction.com and I get it for 50 grand, I'm happy. You know, I already seen it. So I know it's a good deal. But that's the key, is trying to get in that house.
Well, plus, like with prop stream and shit, if you got the pre-foreclosures there, you know, you should be able to kind of see them, or at least, I mean, my area, I can drive around the whole damn town in a freaking half hour, you know. So you could kind of peek in the windows or something anyway.
Well, I call all the pre-foreclosures, no matter what this says they owe, and no matter what it went to auction for, I'm calling them. You know, even if they owe way too much, because I might be able to get that house for cheaper somehow. There's ways of doing it, but no, to me, that's the best part of this game, is the foreclosures.
Yeah, I always kind of figured I'd get in there eventually, but just can only learn stuff so fast, it seems like. I can only screw so much shit up at once.
Just learn from my mistakes. Don't make the mistakes
man.
I made enough of them.
That's why I'm here.
I want to try to do a sub 2 at some point. Even with a foreclosure or whatever, you bring it up to, you know, if they don't owe that much,
Right.
or whatever. But I don't know.
No.
It's a goal.
I love the idea of the sub 2 game. I love it.
Yep. Hey, Michael Evans, thanks for joining, man.
You're welcome, man.
Break it down for them. The conference only says that.
Awesome. All right. Any other deals? Any questions? Anybody need help with anything?
Yeah, hey Todd, maybe you know, I was trying to figure out so I was watching some stuff too, and I was actually thinking about signing up for that too, but I don't know if they got, like, you know, sounds like there's a few people in our area that are, I think they cap it out or something, so I don't know if there's room or whatever, but
No, there's room for the sub 2.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, anyway, so he was saying, like, if you buy on a land contract, that you don't get the depreciation benefits because you don't actually hold the title. I don't know if that applies here, if that's the same thing or what. But if it's the case, I'm trying to figure out if I think you may be able to get the seller to assign you those depreciation benefits if you're buying on land contract. And if you can do that, then why sub to anything? Just do like a mirror, what do they call, a mirror wrap or whatever, where your land contract is just equals the mortgage PITI or whatever.
Right.
So the title never transfers to you, so you're never gonna, or you shouldn't
Right.
cause the due on sale clause to happen, you know, but then you don't get then supposedly you don't get the depreciation either.
Right. Can you sell on a legally, or, well, I've done it many a time, so I don't think it's illegal, but it might be. Anyway, can you sell on a land contract that has a mortgage on it? I know I heard it many, many times that it has to be, it's supposed to be free and clear.
Yeah, it's my understanding that you can.
Yeah.
I think
So,
you can also.
yeah.
Yeah. But as the buyer, if you just want to make sure whoever you're buying it from is making that payment. You know what I mean? Because if I'm buying it from Kevin on a land contract, I pay him every month, and then he quits making his mortgage payment and I don't get notified. And what good is that land contract, right?
Yeah, I think you'd still do the same thing like you do a sub 2 where you get POA. And then, you know, you might just from the start, just put a servicing company in place and the servicing company just pays the,
Yeah.
you know,
But
whatever.
I did many land contracts and I never did that. They just paid me and, you know, but yeah, that's the, yep. Yeah, so the reason I'm buying the land contract that other way, I could have had it where I could have had him create a note and mortgage. That probably would have been the best way and made the payments, and then I'm freaking the owner and I get all the depreciation, all the benefits there. But he's a friend of mine and he has like a blanket loan for a business and this house is attached to it for now.
Mm.
So, which I'm okay with it because I know I'm gonna get a deed and all that good stuff, but it's, you know, we're gonna have to worry about that when I pay it off. And I know we will, so it works out.
Well, it sounds like it's still a smoking deal anyway.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, Pace did a whole video, man, and I thought I had an understanding of the difference of a land contract and a lease with option and the note and all that stuff, but he clarified all that shit for the first time, and I was kind of blown away. I didn't really understand all the nuances between them all until I watched that.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that his stuff is gold, man, but you gotta watch it and take notes and watch it again. You really gotta spend the time. You'll learn so much, you know. I just read a book that was freaking a game changer. I read it once and I'm going through it again. It's called I might have told you guys this last time or the time. Who Not How. Who Not How.
I'm in the middle of it right now. I got about an hour left.
Yeah, I love that book, man. It makes so much sense. Now, I'm gonna take notes and do some other things, you know. But
I killed one right before that too. I don't know if you heard of that Tim Grover guy who did Relentless and Winning. I just killed Winning over the weekend too. That was pretty sweet. He was Kobe and Jordan's trainer or whatever.
yeah, I got Relentless. That was great.
That was great. Winning was pretty good too, man. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it then. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been on a tear here. Started my VA this last week here, so we've been up training. I'm trying to get Mojo integrated into my CRM and shit. It's all been a pain in the ass, but
Yeah, I think if I was gonna get a dialer, I would go with Batch Dialer.
really,
Because you know you could get your when you get the phone numbers through Batch skip tracing, it'll go right into your dialer. And I heard Batch is really good with Podio. A lot of people, I don't use Podio, but a lot of people do.
mm-hmm.
And it integrates with that really well. But that's what I would do. But I don't use a dialer right now. My phone rings off the hook and I make calls by hand
Right
now.
on, right on. Yeah, I was gonna get them to start just trucking through them for me here for a little bit and see how that goes.
Yep. So what
Todd,
else?
you
Todd, I
probably
got
have
a
a good
question.
you probably have a good connection rate hand dialing because the dialers I think the dialers don't have the greatest you know, your numbers go bad all the time and you got to recycle numbers and stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're dialing from your cell or, you know, whatever, it's going through.
Yeah, you gotta, I guess with Batch, I think it's $1 for a number, you know, you're always you're always changing your numbers for sure. Yeah, I never did the text blasting, the RVMs, none of that, you know. I always wanted to, but I can't. I'm kind of like Kevin. I know Kevin. I just can't get to the part where you gotta get the phone numbers in there and you gotta set it all up and do all that. I'm moving too fast and I can't figure it out. I need someone just to say, let me take care of this. And I say, okay, do it, you know?
That's what I did this week. Actually, I go through REI Black Book, and it's got all the phone numbers, websites, all the automated follow-up. So they just integrated this, they call it 15x3 follow-up. So it sets all the tasks, it texts them automatically, sends the ringless voicemails automatically. And so like it's 15 minutes, 15-minute follow-up, 15-day follow-up, and a 15-month follow-up. So it's all automated. And so we'll be able to plug them in. Like a lot of people just plug their cold leads into there to the 15-month. And they pull deals out like crazy just from the automated follow-up. So I just made like, I don't know, 15 different ringless voicemails the other day. Just I read the script and kind of went through them all. And I don't know, we'll have to see how it goes. It seemed pretty sweet though.
Sweet, sweet. Yeah, I guess if someone's good at doing that stuff, RVMs and putting everything in Mojo, you can make a lot of money just by helping guys like me do that garbage, you know?
Dude, I don't think it would be too bad. I've already been thinking about like 1,000 other businesses that I could plug into the same damn system, really.
Yeah.
They fill out a web form, it like sets off like a chain reaction of automated follow-up stuff. And also, I mean, it's setting tasks and reminders to me and my team also, so that we're on track too. But it's been a pain in the ass.
Yep. Cool. Any
So Todd, I
Yeah.
got a question. So you know how you have Bagley, the Bagley area, but when you go up to Outer Drive, like Livernois Outer Drive, and then from Outer Drive to 8 Mile, that's really technically no longer Bagley, you
the
know,
first two
so you
blocks,
can't really.
the first two blocks on the other side of Auto Drive are still Bagley.
Okay.
It doesn't look like it, but they're decent, but they're
Yeah.
not Bagley looking houses. They're bungalows but those are Bagley. Have you guys ever watched that? What's that fix and flip show where the two guys are living, the two gay guys, and they're living in their flips. They're buying land bank or houses, I think from land bank. They're fixing them, and then they go to the next one in the same neighborhood. They take their shopping cart and move into it. If there's anyone seen that, we don't have time to watch TV, do we?
No.
Well, anyways, there's a fix and flip show on, and the only reason I know is because my brother watches it. And whenever I go to go see my mother, they live together. He tells me all about it, and we watch an episode or two, right? Anyway, they're buying in that area, Randy, and they're setting the comp.
Okay.
This is that area between Otter Drive and 8 Mile, between Wyoming and Livernois. If you drive the area, it's not that great. But they're fixing these frame houses and brick houses, and they're making them. You got to watch the movie because they're doing things you've never seen before, and they're selling the houses with the furniture. They're doing crazy shit. And I mean, it might have a green kitchen or pink kitchen with black this. I mean, it's crazy, but they do a great job. It looks nice. And they're selling them for 115,000, 90,000. They really set the comps in this area. So a lot of hipsters are moving back in this area that can't find a house in Hazel Park, Ferndale, and
Yeah.
in this area. So yeah, that's a good little spot. It's not Bagley, but it's a crazy area. So
Bring on the hipsters.
Bring it on the hipsters. Yep. Any other wholesale questions, struggles? The one thing that I just set up in I got a CRM called FreedomSoft. I love it. I used Podio before, hated it. Unless you spend 50 grand, 100 grand to get it working, it's great in my opinion. But FreedomSoft is probably, in my opinion, the second best program that's out there. There's another one that I want to buy maybe one day, and I don't think I'll ever change. I forget what the name of it is now. But anyway, long story short, in my FreedomSoft, I could go into a property and I already got my purchase agreement set in there. And when I click on a purchase agreement, everything already is filled out. Okay. The buyer's name, the seller's name, the price, everything. I just got to click if it's a vacant, if it's, the status of those things. It takes 2 seconds, and you can e-sign right from FreedomSoft. All right, which is awesome. When they sign it, then it goes back into your file under attachments. So you don't have to go look for it. It's right there in the file. Okay. And when you talk, you can email right from FreedomSoft too. Like I can email the purchase agreement, or I could just send a regular email to anybody I want, and it comes right from FreedomSoft. It will say FreedomSoft from Todd@tcdeals@gmail.com or something like that. I forget what it says. So they know it's me. And you could pre-populate different signatures, different emails. Like I could have an email drip campaigns going out and stuff like that. And it'll, they got different templates. I do my assignments the same way. Press a button, boom, my assignment's there, and I can have it e-signed. So that is, and there's a lot of other things that this CRM does that I don't even know yet that I'm working on. You could call from it. You could get phone numbers, but it's too expensive to get phone numbers. They want 25 cents a number. So a lot of different things you could do. I think you could text from it.
Like skip tracing too in there. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they have a skip tracing through it, but I don't use it because it's too much. You could text from it and things like that, but anyways, it's great to organize your leads and your deals that you're working on for sure. And all your buyers. I got a buyers list. I press one button, it clicks all my buyers that and I can send an email out to them all, blast them a deal. It'll go to anyone I want. And you can set them up different ways: Detroit, Flint, suburbs, whatever way you want. So you can e-blast everybody. So then I don't need MailChimp anymore, things like that.
Right.
But I'm really happy with it. It's $200 a month. That's what I pay.
Yeah. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's worth it. I know there's ones out there for $100. Free ones, Podio, but it doesn't do everything. This is if I could use it, anyone could use it. It's simple, and you can keep your tasks. There's a way to do tasks right from the file, or you could just do a regular task. So you can see your appointments and things like that right in there. So
yeah. That's how this one is too. And I'm just to the point where I'm so deep into it, man, I kind of got to just stick it out at this point. They kind of got me by the nuts, really.
REI Black Book.
Yeah.
I used to have that also.
Yeah.
I think I joined a Rich Dad, Poor Dad seminar.
Oh, okay.
Back in the day, that was one of my first ones. I paid 10 grand for a seminar. It was worth it at the time. Sure. It was worth it at the time. So, and then REI Black Book and things like that. But I never used it, so I finally canceled it.
Yeah, it took me. I mean, dude, it took me a year just to kind of get my bearings with it. You think everything's plug and play and set it, forget it bullshit, and there's a learning curve to all of it.
Yep. All right. We're gonna wrap this thing up.
Yes. Yeah, sorry about that. I had my buyer actually called that I just closed on. So they were asking some questions. So I just want to finish up. So that I have a house over in that area that it's like 750 square feet, you know. And I think he wants I was trying to look it up now before that once that phone call came, but I think he's trying to get like 50 grand for it, you know.
A bungalow?
It's not a bungalow, it's a one story. It's just like I said, it's a 700 square feet, 750 square feet roughly, home. It's a small ranch, you know.
Not for 50.
What's that?
Not for 50.
Yeah, and I kind of told him, I was like, okay, kind of probably need to be right around that 35 range, if it's as well as he described, and I'm trying to find the thing, but I have pictures of it, and like, so he put flooring in there, he put laminate flooring in, and I mean he did a pretty decent job of renovating it, you know. And it is a brick house as well, so a little bit of siding, but mainly brick. But yeah, it's a small house over there. It's on, I think it's Greenleaf,
Green lawn.
Green Lawn. Yeah, sorry, Green Lawn. Over there, and I'm just trying to get a decent value out of that, you know. So
Yeah, 729 square feet. It's, max fixed up really, really nice would be 70
yeah,
grand. And that's, I know it's not $100 a square foot over there, but if it was, you're at 70 grand right there. He wants 50. What can you do with it? You can't, no one's going to buy it and flip it. And, I could probably sell that for 40 grand, 45 grand, maybe, if it's nice, but it's small. So I know one of my guys, they won't buy anything under 800 square feet. That's why I asked you if
yeah,
it was a bungalow, because a lot of times in public records, it'll say 729 square feet. It's a bungalow, but they're not counting the upstairs. So you gotta, it'd probably be 1,000 square foot
Yep.
house.
yeah. So he originally was asking 70 grand, and he's like, I won't take no less than 50. I was like, well, send me over some pictures and let me see.
Well,
But he has a tenant in there for 750 a month right now.
So let me ask you a question. Did you ask him why he wants to sell it? Instead of him saying, I'm not gonna take remember, we gotta get to the root of the situation and the problem. You might
Yeah,
have too, Randy. You might have, but you gotta find out why they want to sell, because that's the only time, 90% of the time, maybe 95% of the time, we get houses under contract in wholesaling. There's a reason why they want to sell.
Yep.
Problem. If there's no problem, we got to figure out what that problem is and keep pressing that button. If there's no problem, then why are they trying to sell it with us, right, at a cheap price?
Yeah. So if usually when I try pressing, he's like, well, you called me, because it was from a cold call lead.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah,
So,
that's right. Say, yeah,
but
not.
yeah,
I wouldn't waste too much time with that.
no,
If you're a real estate agent, you say, you know what? If that's what you're looking for, I'll be more than happy to list it for you, and we could get some buyers there, and see what the market is, and we could try to sell it for top dollar. And you're gonna pay real estate commissions and some closing costs, but yeah, I'll do my best for you, or whatever.
yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what I told him in the first place, actually, kind of like just taking off my plate and like, and then he came back with, because I gave him a, like I said, I gave him that low offer of, like 35 grand, if it was just knowing that it's fixed up, new furnace, new hot water tank, new, a new roof, all of that. So I'm like, that's great and all, but it's still 700 and something square feet, I was like,
And
so
and another thing you could do is you could ask them and say, after, once you sell, where are you planning on moving to? What's your next plan?
yeah,
How fast how fast do you want to sell? Blah, blah, blah. So that way you could start talking, you could figure out his problems or his why a different way without you just asking and then telling him,
right,
"Oh,
right,
I want to move out of state. I got some land, my family's getting older, whatever. My mom lives there, how you
yeah,
get into it, right?" But
yep,
yeah, it just sounds like he's just not motivated.
yeah. He gave me another address, and I gotta look up that, but for the most part, I'm gonna check it out, and I'm
But
just gonna call him and be like, hey, this is where we're gonna be, and it looks nice, but hey, think you should probably put it up in the market if you want to sell it,
well, you could tell him a real estate agent, the best in the business,
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
and then I'll wholesale it.
so
But it's one you keep following up on, every 2 weeks, every month, he's just feeling it out.
Yep.
You get more wholesalers calling him and telling him the same thing you did. Eventually he'll realize, he need, if he really wants to sell it, that
yeah. So you remember that contract that I released that I told you about on I think it was Vicksburg.
Yep.
That so guess what? I found out I found it on another wholesaler got it under contract and was trying to sell it for 28 grand.
Is that more than what you were trying to sell it for?
I was trying to sell it for 32, but I would have came down, and I told I was like, give me an offer. I ended up having, after I released it, I ended up getting an offer for 24, and after talking with the owner, it sounded like this wholesaler was probably getting him at 24.5. And I just told him, I was like, at that price, like I have a current buyer that I'd be able to do anything, but I wouldn't make any money. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know if they ever sold it or not, but I just found it funny that I saw it come up on the forum or on the groups.
Anytime I'm talking to a seller and they say they sold their house, or it's one of my old
Yeah.
ones like that one, I always ask them, when did you close yet? No, we're closing next week. What day? Okay, Friday. Would it be okay if I call you Friday to see how everything's going? Make a note, call them
Yep.
on Friday, because when they don't close on that day, they might be primed for you to pick that up at a different price, right? Say, listen,
Yeah.
they didn't close. What happened? Oh my gosh, blah, 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 right? And say, well, if I could get this done, and you already know the house, you might have, what you could do is say, look, and you might be able to get it for a lot cheaper where you could sell it pretty quickly,
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
all right. Anyways,
All right. I appreciate everyone.
all right.
Thanks for the input. And
Thanks, guys.
feel free to reach out if you need me for anything. And I appreciate it. See you next week. All
Todd,
right.
you need a
See ya.
chauffeur again one of these days or what?
Later, Todd.
One of these days. Yeah.
Yeah, man, let me know. I'd be happy to roll around again anytime.
Okay, I will, man. Cool.
Anytime.
Appreciate you.
All right, guys.
All right, guys.
All right. Bye.
Thank you. I'll talk to you tomorrow, Chris.
All right, later, man. Sounds good.
Peace.
Have a good night.
Yep. See you, Kev.